There's been a merger disaster at the Walt Disney Company. If you weren't aware, Disney has decided to exit the India market. Well, short of exiting it, they've decided to merge with their largest competitor in the space. The deal was supposed to be valued at $10 billion, but now, after a few issues, it's come out that it's only going to be $4 billion. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and today with me is Vash Sky, my usual compatriot, and also Spencer Baculi from Bounding into Comics. Spencer, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Jonas. I'm doing much better than Disney is doing at this moment. Let's put it that way.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Insane.
This is why, by the way, when you record a video, you should always release it when it is most up to date. And I was supposed to release a video that I recorded one with Culture Casino, and it's now out of date. Because we thought this thing was going to have a $2 billion loss. That is only a measly $2 billion loss in value because of an issue, which we will now have to explain what happened with Reliance Media. So let's, first of all, go over here. Before we get to the big dogs, we're going to stop over at Reuters, Yahoo Finance, however you want to talk about it. Actually, let's do this one first. India's Reliance Media maintains silence on mega merger buzz with Disney's local unit. This one by Utkarsh Roshan from a couple of days ago. Reliance Media, they were going to buy essentially all of Disney's media business, and Disney was going to be they were going to have slightly fewer shares in the merger than Reliance Media, making Reliance the dominant party here, because in most mergers, it's not a merger of equals. Usually someone is winning out in either culture or form. Yeah. Disney failed in the space. Yes. So the recent dispute between Z Entertainment, which is a completely different Indian company, and Disney over a $1.5 billion sub-licensing deal for International Cricket Council. So essentially what happened here is Z failed to make a $200 million payment to Disney, and they let them know about that on this $1.5 billion deal. And Disney right now needs $200 million. That's not a small amount to them right now. They're a company in need of cash because they just spent $8.6 billion to obtain the part of Hulu that they essentially already controlled because of the way that business is structured. Oh, man. They should be making more money from it now, but they've unlocked a little bit more profitability, but it's going to be a little bit of time before they'd make that money back. So this $200 missed payment from Z is indicative of a few problems here. Z was going to merge with Sony, of all companies. Sony was going to come in, and I think that deal was going to be valued at $10 billion, a separate $10 billion deal than the one that we're currently talking about. And it didn't happen for one reason or another. We won't get into all of that, but essentially there were some problems with some valuation of international assets, even from Z's perspective, as in like the Russian assets that they had. There were some compliance problems that were causing Sony to want to back out of the deal, which means that infusion of cash never happened, which means that Disney did not receive a $200 million payment, which also lowered the value of Disney's business in the region, which caused, as we hinted at before, sorry there, I had a little break in my hydraulic line and I had to pause there. It caused for a $2 billion, what we speculated would be a $2 billion diminishment of the valuation of this $10 billion deal. So now let's go over to the big dogs here.
Oh, man. So now we're talking a like you put it earlier, a cascade of failures. Is that right?
Yes. This is a cascade of failures.
One that missed payment, or the failure to merge, I guess, with Sony or whatever, that was the catalyst. That's where everything started going downhill for this.
Right. So Z's saving throw, if that had happened, we probably wouldn't be seeing as large of a drop in value as we're seeing now. Disney's India unit takes valuation hit in planned sale. Viacom 18's purchase of 60% of Disney's India business reunites the company with two executives who build it. That's the headline, but our headline is obviously a little bit of a different one. Disney has reached a preliminary agreement to sell 60% of its Indian media business in a deal that values the assets at $3.9 billion, dramatically less than what it was worth when Disney acquired it in 2010. 2019.
Yikes.
My goodness.
Yikes.
That was it. They valued it at $70 billion when they bought the entire, not just this business. This was part of the Fox purchase. And,
Right.
and we'll get to that here. Let's just do a quick control
quick
F
recap,
here.
a quick breakdown.
When Disney bought most of 21st Century Fox's global entertainment assets in 2019, the India business was considered a crown jewel of the deal, in large part because Star had several key packages of cricket rights. Estimates by people familiar with the details of the deal and third-party analysts pegged its value at between $7 and $16 billion. And now it was supposed to be.
And I'm sorry. Yeah. What are we at now?
Yeah, we're now at 3.9. So half of the lower end.
Half of the lower end, right?
Like, or a quarter of the higher end.
You were hoping, a quarter. That's it exactly. I was about to say 22%. You were hoping that this was a substantial part of the valuation when you were buying all of Fox for $70 billion, and now you learn that, oh my gosh, that what was once valued at maybe the high end of $16 billion, 22% of that deal is now a fraction of what that's worth. I mean, that is insane. Oh, company got hosed on this one. They
got absolutely hosed.
No, and to your point, Jonas, it's not all their fault, but man, this is terrible.
I cannot believe Disney's bad fortune in this particular aspect. They bought something that they didn't understand because they saw it was a global asset. By the way, they were very happy to add all of those Hotstar subscribers to their totals for Disney.
Yep. I'm glad you brought that up. That was their favorite marketing tactic. We've got billions of new subscribers. Asterisk, 47 billion of them come from India, from Hotstar.
And as soon as they lost those cricket rights, they said, oh, by the way, everybody, we need you to know that all those subscribers that we've been bragging about, they don't really make that much money. So please don't be shocked when we're losing.
Yes.
So this was an admission on their part that they were fine with everybody having that impression for a very long time, that the subscriber number, if Wall Street was focused on subscriber numbers, they were not going to disabuse them of that idea.
Right. So, And nobody really broke down like the value of each subscriber, right? I mean, when you have people in India only paying 70 cents per month in terms of ARPU, the average revenue per user, versus like $7 of Disney Plus in at least in the United States, that's a huge, difference. I mean, not all subscribers are the same, unfortunately, and they've had trouble turning them around.
And just to add to that idea, 10 times the valuation here, 70 cents or $7, which would you prefer? Well, I would prefer 10 times the factor. But of course, that's also not enough to make Disney profitable. Disney Plus profitable at this point.
Not even close.
So they're still not at break even, which is why they want to merge it with why they want to merge what remains of Disney Plus after they get out of that market. With Hulu, which makes $12.50, which is a much more reasonable and that's a number you can be proud of there. That's a successful streaming service. It just so happens
the number you actually want to put out in all your financial statements.
Right.
That'll be the one time you actually highlight the dollar amount, right? Because that's what I was going to touch on. A sort of meta piece of this entire equation, and a sort of reason why you guys founded That Park Place is the reason Disney was able to combine their Hotstar numbers with their Disney Plus numbers and let that be the narrative is because nobody in the press did that due diligence outside of I think at the time, maybe Bounding, John, current That Park Place editor-in-chief, John F. Trent. I think he went into it, but that's about the only real news source. Every other mainstream source or just mainstream sources in general goes, Disney had 1 billion subscribers. Isn't that great? Isn't that awesome?
As we often like to call them, pixie dusters. They're
the pixie dusters. And because then even throwing more dust on it, if they even mention Hotstar, it's at the very, very end underneath everything, under all the paragraphs. You're not going to notice it, but then it lets them go, well, we mentioned it. See? Were you not informed?
Yeah.
And then when you mix in with the higher price of content, when you're talking about producing content in multiple languages and so forth, high cost of cricket rights and all this kind of stuff, it sets you back even further. I know this was an emerging market for Disney. They were even thinking about maybe building a theme park in India. Now, after this hose down, you got to think that maybe they're not as what Bob Iger say, not as enthusiastic about India
about that market. Well, I will say if they built their theme park in India, they could probably hold on to it, even though they still would have had to agree to have someone local owning large portions
And
of
like
that theme park.
operate it, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, India is a very different geopolitical environment than current China. So
I was gonna say it's different than America. It's different than like Singapore, China, all the other markets that it's in.
Right.
It's a lot different. So it would have been a struggle. But just an aside, that's a discussion for a different day. If somebody can do it, they're gonna make a lot of money.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be somebody with a key understanding of the Indian market and ingenuity that I would expect from some
cricket
amazing
park.
people.
Duh.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, I think that we probably need to wrap it up here. Spencer, you're our guest here. Do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Absolutely. First of all, I want to thank you for having me on, Jonas. It's always a pleasure to be able to hang out with you and Vash and talk the latest disasters coming out of Disney. You can find me obviously at boundingintocomics.com. We have news going up every day. Your number one source for pop culture news, as well as Park Place. Don't let me overshadow that. We're a team here. And then if you want to see more of me, you can find me on Twitter at Kabuto Writer Mav. And if you like anime, video games, tokusatsu, I run a stream every Friday on my own channel, Studio Kabuto, 5 p.m. Pacific time. If you want to deep dive and talk about that, come on over. And until then, check out everything these guys got going on. They're some of the best content creators, best guys I know, and everything is worth a follow.
And we're always glad to have you on the channel.
It.
Spencer, it's always special when we have you on. Vash?
Yes.
Where you at, bro?
Well, I mean, you can find us at that Park Place. So if you're watching this video, please give it a subscribe right there. We do live streams every Thursday at noon Eastern. So definitely go ahead and check that out. And I'm also on Theme Park Universe with my buddy Ethan from Theme Park Wizard, where we break down all theme parks, all the happenings from all around the world. So please give that a subscribe as well.
Well, thank you so much also for shouting out the channel here. Of course, everybody out there, we love your comments. Like this video if you like this video. Consider sharing it out if you know somebody who's interested in this kind of stuff. I think that a massive headline of $12 billion in market loss for the Walt Disney Company when they are starving for $200 million, I think that's a big deal. But apparently not everybody is interested in that headline. But of course, consider subscribing to that Park Place.
Jonas, just before we go, I need you to. I want to let everybody know that there is a reason why this Disney news might not, come to the forefront over these next couple days.
Oh, why is that?
The Marvels is now available on digital from your favorite service, Amazon, iTunes. Check it out now.
And February 7th on Disney Plus.
Soon
to theaters. Remember the magic, the Black Girl magic of the Marvels.
Black Girl magic.
I'm just quoting. Okay. All right. Thank you for consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.